the president's getting ready to leave. Let's listen to him there on the tarmac.
Not me, but I think we, the country, has put a different face on where we've been and where we're going. And I feel good about it. I feel, you know, one of the things that I think understandably there was a good deal of skepticism about would the G7 sign on and give America back its sort of leadership role. I think it did. It wasn't me, but they're glad America's back. They're glad America's back, and they acted that way. And then when we went to NATO, I think it was the same thing. We had really good meetings there and real response, as well as the EU. I didn't get one single person, not one of the world leaders said doing anything other than thank me for arranging a meeting with Putin. And I thought, quite frankly, I was in a much better position to represent the West after the previous 3 meetings with Putin, that knowing that the rest of the West was behind us. And so I think, so I owe them all a debt of gratitude.
Mr. President, since you're now heading home, can I just ask you briefly about 2 domestic issues?
I'm not sure I can answer them, but
if you could. First would be this fate of the infrastructure bill. There's now a bipartisan group that has a new offer. Have you had time to review it?
No,
okay.
I've not been. I honestly haven't seen it. I don't know what the details are. I know that my chief of staff thinks there's some room, that there may be a means by which to get this done. And I know that Schumer and Nancy have moved forward on a reconciliation provision as well. So I'm still hoping we can put together the 2 bookends here.
And the second issue is that yesterday, or earlier this week, Mitch McConnell said that if Republicans were to take back the Senate in 2022, he did not see a way that you could get a Supreme Court justice confirmed. Do you have a response to that? This will be next year.
No, I know. The answer is Mitch has been nothing but no for a long time. And I'm sure he means exactly what he says, but we'll see.
Mr. President, did you talk with President Putin about the Iran nuclear deal? Did you
Yes.
find a way? What did you discuss, and did you find a way to make
It was
some progress?
about how we would jointly work, and I'm not going to discuss what we discussed.
Do you have any?
Mr. President, Caitlin's question that you answered at the very end there, that you came over to talk about, I think at the heart of it was this question of whether or not you seem overly optimistic, given that what we all listen to President Putin essentially say the same old things that he said forever. He's, rejecting all responsibility for all that stuff. And I guess the question that she was trying to get, and maybe you could take another stab at it, is what concrete evidence do you have from these 3+ hours that suggests that any movement has been made? And I don't mean that to be
I know, but you're all,
question.
Look, to be a good reporter, you got to be negative. You got to have a negative view of life, okay? It seems to me, the way you never ask a positive question. Why, in fact, having agreement, we'll find out. We have an agreement to work on a major arms control agreement. I started working on arms control agreements back all the way during the Cold War. If we could do one in the Cold War, why couldn't we do one now? We'll see. We will see whether or not it happens. But the thing that always amazed me about the questions, and I apologize for having been short on this before. If you were in my position, would you say, well, I don't think, man, anything's going to happen. It's going to be really rough. I think it's going to really be bad. You guarantee nothing happens. You guarantee nothing happens.
So there's a value
far,
to...
There's a value to being realistic and put on an optimistic front, an optimistic face. Look, you all said the same thing about the, what was going to happen when we had the first meeting of the 7. Oh, Biden, they're not going to buy Biden stuff. They're really not really. Any of you find that? Did that happen? Any of it? A little bit, just a little sliver of it. When I went to meet with NATO, oh boy, they're not going to be happy. They're all going to be against Biden meeting with Putin. They're not going to want that. Did you hear a single solitary syllable? And what would have happened if I had said, before I went into those negotiations, I think it's going to be really hard. I think it's going to be really difficult. I'm not so optimistic about it. I don't see anybody really changing. And the same way when I met with the EU. The EU's not going to like the way Biden's operating.
But this is Vladimir Putin. I mean,
Sure, it's
you
Vladimir
be
Putin, but look,
optimistic about his
it was also, not, I don't compare him to Putin, but it was the French president said he will never go for more money for NATO. Guess what? He's agreed. I mean, look, guys, I'm going to drive you all crazy because I know you want me to always put a negative thrust on things, particularly in public, and negotiate in public. I don't have to trust somebody. We didn't have to trust somebody to get START 2. It wasn't about a trust. Well, I trust the Russians. I can tell, man, they're really, I've been looking at them. Very, very truthful. They're self-interest. I don't trust anybody. Look, I've got to get in the plane, but I'll say it. You'll hear me say
Your
this more
plane,
than
you
once.
can go when you want.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing, folks. I don't see any benefit ever to begin a negotiation. And I mean, you're the brightest people in the country. You're the most informed people on detail. I'm not being solicitous. You are. But it makes no sense for me to negotiate with you. It makes no sense for me to tell you what I'm about to do. It makes, not because I want to hide anything from you. Why would I telegraph that?
Did he do anything that surprised you? Was there any moment that you were really surprised by?
No, I wasn't surprised because I was convinced that, I'm going to choose my words, Russia's in a very, very difficult spot right now. They are being squeezed by China. They want desperately to remain a major power. You all are writing about, not illegitimately, Biden already gave Putin what he wants, legitimacy, standing on the world stage at the President of the United States. They desperately want to be relevant. They have, and they don't want to be known as some critics have pointed said, the upper Volta with nuclear weapons. It matters. And I've found it matters to almost every world leader, no matter where they're from, how they're perceived, their standing in the world. It matters to them. It matters to them in terms of their support at home as well. And so I think that there is I'm trying to think how to shorten this so I can get in the plane. I'm of the view that in the last 3 to 5 years, the world has reached a fundamental inflection point about what it's going to look like 10 years from now. I mean it literally. It's not hyperbole. It's not like I'm trying to pump it up. I think it's a genuine reality. And so each of the countries around the world, particularly those who had real power at one time or still do, are wondering, how do I maintain and sustain our leadership in the world? That's what the United States is going through right now. How do we sustain us being the leading, most powerful, and most democratic country in the world? A lot's going on. I don't know about you. I never anticipated, notwithstanding, no matter how persuasive President Trump was, that we'd have people attacking and breaking down the doors of the United States Capitol. I didn't think that would happen. I didn't think I'd see that in my lifetime. But it's reinforced what I've always known and what I got taught by my political science professors and by the senior members of the Senate that I admired when I got here. That every generation has to reestablish the basis in this fight for democracy. I mean, for real. Literally have to do it. And I've never seen, including since the Civil War, such an outward assault on voting rights. I mean, just a flat assault. I didn't anticipate that happening 4 years ago, but it's happening now. There's a lot at stake. Each of the countries, we have our own concerns and problems, but we still, as long as I'm president, we are going to stick to the notion that we're open, accountable, and transparent. And I think that's an important message to send the world. Thank you all.
Thank
Thank you, Mr. President.
Come back and see us on the plane.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.